Hello and welcome to the Forgeborn Finishing School. Kckid and Koar here. We'll be analyzing Forgeborn battles to help take your game to the next level. Hey everyone, welcome back. This week we're going to have our Digitize Dustup recap here, just kind of talk through the event, and then we're going to play a match that's been requested from a couple of people now. And, we thought we couldn't miss out on the Digitize action as well. We've got to, I play tested a little bit when we thought of the concept, and then we really got to watch everyone else have fun with it. And we wanted to try it out, right? So we're going to get to that. The Digitize Dustup event, we finished out, Greg, $1,711. Absolutely amazing. I listened to the Charge Play to Podcast episode that they just dropped. It was kind of their recap of the Digitize Dustup. And honestly, I don't think we can do it better. So if you haven't listened to that, go out and check out their content. It was really, really well done. They threw a shout out to, everyone that donated. We've thanked you guys profusely. I cannot thank you enough. It's been amazing. One of the things they said that just resonated so much is this is such a small community that $1,711. That's not a small amount for the amount of people we had involved in this. That's really awesome. So, last thanks for me, and Greg.
Yeah. Truly, just thank you everybody for your support and help. It's awesome.
One thing that they brought up on their podcast was that the event is still open to donate. I'm going to leave it up for another week, so if anyone wants to go out there, I do still have some copies of the Digitize Thundersoar. So if you want a set of those promos, if you donate $10 or more to the charity, I will send that in the mail to you, and I'll get it out pretty quick here. So I've been really happy to see a lot of people are already received their promos. They tell me they're in great shape. That's awesome. One thing I do want to say is we don't do a lot of plugs for our Patreon here. We try not to ask for money a lot, right? We do have a Patreon for this channel, and what we use that money for is creating events like this, creating promotional material, creating alt arts that we send out to people. So we have a lot of really cool things in the work, and if you want to help support that, please look in the video description, check out the Patreon, and sign up. Right now, we have an alternate art out to an artist for commission to help us build our next alt art potentially. And then we have another event potentially in the works. It's not going to be here really quick. It's going to be maybe a bit of a bigger endeavor, but we got to work the details out and get that set up. So we're just always trying to do some more and understand that any money you give into the channel through the Patreon goes right back into the community. So just want to plug that in there. Last thing I guess I wanted to say just on this Digitize Dustup event, if any other content creators or people out there, want to run events, we learned a lot through this. This is our first time running an event. So always feel free to reach out, anything related, and we would love to help, give you our lessons learned from the event, what we did good, what we didn't. And if you have recommendations, critiques, I love critiques. If you're a person that you saw something that could have been done better, please send it to me, Discord, through the email in the video description, all those things. We just love to get better at everything we do, and so that's just an ask out there. So as taking part of this Digitize event, Greg, we're going to get after it, and I randomized some Digitize decks for you. I think you came out on the better end of this one. And I think the community would agree because I got the 6th ranked Betrayer Digitized deck, or the 6th drafted, and you got the 2nd drafted. So you're coming in hot. I think the odds are in your favor, but I wouldn't bet against me. I'm going to take you down still. We'll see.
You have a lot of just I think your Digitized deck for Alloying that we go into has some heavy hitting potential.
All right, let's let's take a look here. So here's the Auctioning Apprentice host. So this was drafted 6th in the event, and this is the one that I ended up with. The Korok has a little bit of removal, which I think we found out throughout the event is good.
Yep.
And then Whirlwind and Lightning Speed could potentially close out a game, right? If there's some big digitized dude and you Whirlwind him to another lane, seal a match out. Flame Shaper Savant, I think if I wanted to use this well, I'd have to have an Alolan that really is aimed solely at weaponizing that. And I've generally found trying to weaponize one individual card in the deck doesn't work. So I'll be honest, I kind of just didn't lean into the Savant too much here. But I'll just go over a couple of cards that I'm excited about here. Rhymehorn Charger. This is a card in the beginning of the game that didn't have my attention. And I think that was a very, very poor decision on my part. Every time I've played this card now, it's just flown up my power rankings. It's not phenomenal. It's not going to blow you away. It's not going to blow your opponent away, but it's always pretty good. And a 6/4 aggressive.
It's aggressive, 6 attack. Yeah, so it's always an opportunity for this to be really good. And we're seeing with the newer sets too, this kind of value of attack increases is starting to have other benefits as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. One card that caught my eye here, Greg. What do you think of this guy, Stout Colossus?
It's a lot of points. You know, he's got a good attack. Like 5 attack, I think is a level 1 card is good, and then he has the hit points to survive a round or two. So in a lot of cases, he's killing something and staying alive. So your opponent a lot of times is taking 2 cards to deal with this. So
yeah, that's my hope here in the Digitize Dustup. He just kind of hangs around one extra turn that you don't want him to, and he ends up kind of being the Digitize hero. We'll see. But hey, story perfect. I ended up with a Thundersoar. So I didn't load in the Digitized Thundersoar art into the TTS mod. I probably should have done that, but I will say we're recording this right after we got a couple of shout outs, so not a lot of time involved, but there it is. Hopefully I can get that Thundy going. So here's my blue I picked. You kind of mentioned some heavy hitters. I call this blue Who's Who in the Zoo. And so essentially, if you look on the left-hand side, the creatures here, it is just, non-forged creatures. The only forged creature it has, and I'm not saying this is good, right? But it's entertaining. The only forged creature it has is the Arrogant Drone. And the drone in and of itself is kind of a big name of blue. So, this Who's Who in the Zoo. It does have a energy prison, which I think could get some good value in this this match where we are going to be just increasing stats. But this guy was one of the ones that I searched for. The Palladium Pulse Mage. She has just done work after work after work in normal games, and in this tournament, I think we've seen her do some real solid work.
Yeah.
So we'll move into the Heroes of the Pro. This was the second ranked Digitized deck. This is one you landed with, Greg. Give us a rundown.
Yeah, so taking a look at it, the Nova abilities, I like them. I think they work well when you're pairing it into Alolan. The Nova's Wrath gives possibly some extra options, but this deck, it does have Druid, Biologist to get those minions out. So I think the Nova was good. I was okay with that. Camouflage Druid, Asperian Steelplate, Leyline Vermin, Manus, Biologist, Utera Charger. Like, those are all really great cards. And so, to me, I felt like the green was just a solid pack of creatures that I would be playing.
Yeah. Yep.
And so a lot of what I was looking at on the blue side was things that could support that. And I kind of had it narrowed down. We only had we basically gave ourselves basically 15 minutes. So I quickly had narrowed down. I don't have a whole lot of the Digitizes to 3 decks, narrowed it down to 2 decks. And then I just said, screw it. This deck here, you can see is February 27th. This is from the first booster I pulled. And so had the Digitize, had the Palladium Pulse Mage, seen that do work in this tournament. So, and it's a good card outside of this style of tournament. Rallying Justicar, had the Biologist in there, the Druid, so I could get some value out of that. And then the other thing that I saw in this was the Reinforced Tinker. Knowing that you're pairing a blue deck against this, there's probably going to be minions. So having that as an option works well. And then the Metamind Overseer, again, another card that adds another minion on the table, helps the rallying. So that was kind of my thought progression on this. And Iron Brew I didn't pay too much attention to because I thought the Nova was pretty solid.
Yeah, I was looking really hard for a Steel Rosetta to try to get that Tinker going. And I found one that had the Metamind Overseer, had Tricks, had Nanoswarm, a lot of minion generation. So I almost went with that. But here we are. Hopefully the Tinker doesn't
That
cause
that
me
was
too
the
much
second deck I
fits.
was looking at. Was Warmonger mod, Nanoswarm, had Tricks, had the Steel Rosetta. It's just I don't know. Something told me to just go with this one.
Yeah, I like you said, we didn't give ourselves a ton of time. I was thinking hard into it. I think I had some better selections, but then yeah, I just kind of went back. I was like, I'm going with who's who in the zoo. I think we both kind of had that. We're gonna pick a deck that means something to us, and so that's also kind of fun.
Yeah.
And we are gonna we're gonna go through this match essentially as if we have been bountied. Right. That's kind of been the most entertaining part of this tournament. As if you get the 2 digitizes in a turn, you got to use them. So that's a big part of what we're gonna go with, and let's fire this thing off. And may the better digital master win here.
I don't have the digital trophy, so it's not me.
Oh, I don't either, man. It's still at the shop. I gotta hit those people up. They're taking a lot of time, which is good. It's gonna be good. But yeah, so all right, let's start this thing off with a Palladium Pulse Mage, and then pass it over to you.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah,
That
man, I
makes me
have
want to do.
potentially solid play here. Like these couple of cards are not bad at all. Oh yeah, don't do the Leyline Vermin.
Doesn't quite kill your Palladium Pulse Mage is the problem.
Yeah, true story. You always just open lane it and then play something else. Wait, why am I helping you out? Okay.
We'll play this and we'll drop a Wisp there.
All right. So I might be overthinking this, but I feel like you didn't open lane the Leyline Vermin and shut off my Pulse Mage because you didn't have another creature to put in front of it because you have to play a Digitize this round. I'm going out on a pretty big limb here, right? So, how do I best get value here? I want to play this guy.
Do you have a Digitize? Please have a Digitize.
I do not, Greg. But I'm considering now removing my own Pulse Mage to limit your options.
Oh.
And that doesn't feel good. So I think I just force you to digitize the Druid.
It's a good play.
Is that what we want to do? That's what we're doing. All right.
All right.
I don't love it, but oh, the War Machine. Nice.
All right.
Okay. That Druid was a good play. So you're going to take 3 damage, though. First blood goes to me. But now you got a monster on the board. I don't like that.
Let's see. Now I'm kind of hoping. Let's see what. I'm gonna hope you have both digitizes because I'm gonna use Terra Charger.
Spicy.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to upgrade that chonky boy Stone Fist right there.
I got
There
my
it is.
Digitize, one of them.
First digitize in full value. Look at that. God, that's good.
Now, do you have a Digitize?
I do not.
Doesn't look like it. Dang.
I'm
Nice.
gonna slip that down, make it manageable for now, and then upgrade. This
Yeah,
is
you got
kind of a
upgrades in.
tough choice. I don't think there's a lot of warriors in this deck, so I don't think I'm gonna upgrade my slam. We're gonna do the glider here.
Okay.
Just hope that I can turn this around next cycle. All right.
Ooh. Okay.
All right, we'll fire off with the drone here first.
Hmm.
Okay. I'll go with a Thundy there.
Fundy. Fundy from down undy.
Yep. Oh, no. Rude. Oh, that's not good.
I'm gonna take 5.
Yep. Oh, but I'm in a terrible spot here, Greg. You got a good
2,
board state.
3. All right.
And I will upgrade Steel Eye.
You did not see it digitize, man.
No, but yet look
I'm
at
in a
this
good
board
position.
state.
I am in a
Yeah.
good position. Yep.
That's problematic. Ooh, nice. Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh. This is not good.
Well, you don't have 2 digitizes, so that's unfortunate.
Okay. I am gonna
Okay.
put that back and hope you don't have the level 2 Palladium Pulse Mage. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna activate this. It's gonna kill that. You're gonna digitize the. I'm not doing it yet. I'm just talking
Oh.
through it, right?
Oh, okay.
If I do
Yep,
this, you'll get rid of
yep.
that. I get rid of this. Then you're gonna digitize that over there.
Potentially.
If I don't activate this and you have it digitized, then you're gonna get +5 or +5. You still die there. You don't die here. You're killing that. So the play for me, you're gonna go to 11. I'm at 6.
Just use my Forgeborn to send the Pulse Mage to 0.
So
That feels bad. Love it.
I feel like you have a I feel like you have a Digitize in your hand. And if I believe you have a Digitize in your hand, then my best option is to play this here.
Oh, yeah. That's just a solid option no matter what.
Pop
Yep.
this. It should be a 4. I don't know if I counted that right.
I think so.
And I'll pass the turn to you.
Okay.
And if you don't have a Digitize, I messed up.
I do have a Digitize, but I think your best play was still to activate this. So you would have pushed 10 damage.
No, because you would have doubled you would have got health on that creature. I didn't want you to have health on it. I need to kill it. So if I did that, you would have gotten the health. Now I kill all of your creatures.
Yeah, but you would have done. Yeah, I mean, you're just pushing it back. Well, I do tomorrow, which you could do today.
Because I control the board here. He only goes down to 2 now. I push 10 damage through still. And I have better board state. So I think I made the right call there.
I don't think there's any coming back from this. It's just how it is. So I think I will play. Yeah, there's. Okay.
Okay, so that's good there.
Over to me.
Yep.
Okay. There it is. That's enough damage. Good game.
Good game.
That 47, so I got a -7. Yeah, that felt like a runaway freight train from basically turn 2. But which I guess is kind of what we saw in this this matchup.
So I think I made the right call not using the Palladium Pulse Mage, because then I wasn't able to clear your board. Like, I cleared your board and left all of my guys alive.
Yeah, I mean, but you drew the Palladium Pulse Mage here, so it would have been the same state, I think.
Yeah, roughly, but
yeah,
I had more options here. Like, I could have played the Taunting or instead of that. Not the Digitize, but the Palladium or something if I didn't have the Palladium. So.
Well, I can't argue. You won. You are the digital master.
At least just between the two of us.
Yeah. I don't think. I feel like we wouldn't have held up over a tournament like some of the participants did. They did a phenomenal job. So, no, that was interesting. I think sometimes the big guys just get taken away, and we saw that in the tournament. And no, it was a very different game. You have to think differently. There was a couple turns there where I had some different plays I kind of probably wanted to do, but just couldn't. And in a hopes that you don't have removal when your removal's sitting on the board, so it's like I don't have any choices. I gotta play this creature and hope you don't activate, and only an insane person wouldn't activate. So you feel kind of pinned up against the wall. But
yeah, I think the key to this is just like making sure that you're either forcing your opponent to play Digitize on yourself, or like trying to limit the damage that a Digitize could do, or if you get stuck with the Digitizes, having options to put it onto your guys. So
yeah, right. Well, that was a quick match. So we do have one other thing we can get to here for the remainder of the show here quick. One thing I kind of wanted to go over is a recent deck that won a tournament. Well, I guess technically, Greg, the tournament hasn't ended yet, so it's about to end, but the finals match has already played. There's not going to be a top cut, so we already know the winner of the last Shuffle Bus Invitational. It was Weekend Nate. He's played a couple versions of these Asperian decks now. I really like this one. It's very interesting mechanic. I did get to watch the last half of the finals match. I was able to just cut in and see the last couple rounds. It was a very interesting deck in that the Steel Rosetta is his Forgeborn, but it has Inspire over to a Dark Forge Drain on cycle 2, Greg.
Nice. There you go.
And then he's got the Mantis. So he doesn't have Forge Seal, but he just kind of hangs the Mantis around. Obviously, we've seen someone do this before where they don't use the Mantis and then underdrop it later for a fairly large Dark Forge Drain.
I mean, I like this too because that Mantis with a very large Dark Forge Drain has Breakthrough. I don't know if you ever use that, but like you'd be like,
yeah,
all right, I give him like +20, and now he's just the Breakthrough 22 or whatever.
It is probably the best forged Mantis for this concept, right? I agree. That's pretty awesome. He's got a couple other things going for it. Honestly, if you look through the whole deck, I think this is my favorite card right here. The Magnivorous Packmaster. So essentially, this thing's a 1/9 at level 1, Greg. If it gets dealt damage, it gets +2 attack. If the enemy player plays a spell, it gets +2 attack. This thing at cycle 2, it's 5 and 5 for attack. Cycle 3 is getting +10 attack if you hit the thing, or +10 if you play a spell. This guy's cool. This Magnivorous Packmaster, I bet
fun.
Did work. Yeah.
That's a fun combo.
This thing's just stacked with good cards. Stabilizing, suppressing. We've seen those toolboxy
Inventor,
cards.
Sculptor
Sonic
can be useful.
Burst, Inventor, Sculptor. Right. Like, this is just a beautiful blue pairing with the right Forgeborn to kind of make it work. I do wonder about this repurpose, if you got a lot of value out of that. That's obviously targeting the Mantis, I would assume.
Yeah, you could have some Mantis plays. I've done that in sealed decks before with repurposing Mantis. You can do some crazy shenanigans.
Yeah.
But it is a little harder to pull off.
And then, the 4, if you didn't do Krogius the old-fashioned way, you're just going to enhance the thing straight out in cycle 4 and play it. That's a very late win condition. You're hoping to get it in cycle 4 in your hand, have the Forge, do enough damage.
Yeah.
I would guess that didn't come into play for him a lot, that this deck is just winning on the strength of the Dark Forge Drain, the Packmaster, and then all the value it's got, really.
Yeah, a lot of just really good value cards that can help out, and then there's cards in there that are more niche and they could see use. Like, we don't see Toxic Spores a lot or Heavy Artillery, but there are cases where that can make all the difference. Mm-hmm. Even as a cycle 1 in the late series, flipping a trade could be important. So situational, not played a lot, but you're always going to have some. You're not going to play all your cards, and just having some situational cards that can still work in the late phases is always good.
Yeah, and you mentioned those cards that we don't see a lot of play. The Savage Oath. I bet this thing plopped down onto this warrior.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah. So again, not a ton of use, but on cycle 1, you're giving something 6/9 that you want to keep alive because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
And then the Assassin's a warrior. The reinforcements are warriors. Sentry robot. So, okay.
So that's probably one of the least played cards in that deck. I mean, even the Stout House Stegodon's pretty big.
Yeah, this is... Talk about a vanilla card that I love seeing in a deck. I love the Stout Hide Stegodon. It's just always a solid play when you don't know what else to do.
Can help get your up. I mean, in this deck, it's probably pretty rare that the Swamp Moss Lurker's free, but you play this on first turn, you have the option for Swamp Moss Lurker on the second turn potentially, right? So,
one tip I want to throw out there is I still see a lot of people that will put the Stout Hide Stegodon in to block a creature. This is a card that you almost always want to get that life gain. If you're blocking a really big creature, let's say it's a 9 attack or above, and you want to chump it out. Okay, I could understand that. But if you're chumping a 6, 7, or 8 creature, no way, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to lose my 5/5 breakthrough for that trade, or even if it's not a trade, especially not, because just gaining the 3 life by putting it in a unopposed lane, you're offsetting 3 of the damage you're taking, and you're leaving a threat on the board for your opponent the next turn. So just a tip. I love this guy because you always throw him in an open lane. I'm never going to put him behind somebody. Almost never. Yeah, this is...
Mystical Bear. I mean, bears are fun.
Yes. And Mystical Bear is great, especially just because it's an extra body. Like, we always talk about what's the value of having an extra body card. Sometimes it will save you a game. And you might not ever play this Mystical Bear until cycle 3. You need to block 2 things, and that wins you the game. And you have essentially a summoning council,
Yeah, we've seen that in a lot of games, like even the games that we've played against each other,
Right. The one other card I did want to kind of talk about that's kind of probably doesn't see a ton of play, but I love the War Tusk. I'm a little impartial. But just having a 3/9, another warrior that's going to hang around the board with that big of a back-ended stat line and the Packmaster in play and Savage Oath, I bet you these two are a pretty nice, spicy little combo.
I mean, you got to think, in cycle 1, that card is blocking a lane for a turn, and they may not kill each other, but now he's blocking it for the second turn, and they're going to kill each other. So,
Yep.
And then if you happen to, drop the Packmaster in the first turn with it, or drop the Savage Oath on it or something, like, now you're killing that creature that turn, and you're still going to be alive for multiple turns at that point.
Yeah. You just imagine this scenario where you have the level 3 War Tusk and the level 3 Packmaster in play, right? You hit the War Tusk and you don't kill it. It gets 10 attack and 5 health back. That's pretty good. There's just a lot of good little things, little nuggets in this deck. Just super solid. Like, Aether Forge Oracle probably doesn't get played a lot, and I love this card. I will prioritize this card in Cycle 1 over most other cards. I will play this week's stat line over a lot of other cards just to upgrade the better card, because now you've upgraded 2 cards.
Card and this card, a lot of times you could just be chump blocking or hopefully just trading and getting an extra card upgraded.
Yeah. This is a super fun deck. Hats off to Weekend for generating this combination. I love, you and I have tinkered a lot with Inspire into Dark Forge Drain.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just done really well. Paired really nicely together. If I wanted to throw my speculative hat on and say, a way to improve it, which I'm sure Nate's been thinking of quite a bit, is if you could find, the green with a couple of free spells, right? To try to get that going a little bit more, but you'd have to give up what we've got going on here, which is, the Mantis.
I think his green's pretty good. If you could find the blue with some options of, like you mentioned, the Aether Forge Oracle upgrading a spell.
Yep.
And that puts it in there, right? So.
And tech upgrade. So he does have those the tech upgrade to upgrade the Sonic Burst. That puts 2 spells, and I love that combination. But yeah, 100%. This is a nicely tuned deck, and so if you're going to try to upgrade it, you're going to give up something to get something, and that's the hardest part when you get up at this level. So cool. That's the last one we got for today. If you've liked this episode, please like, subscribe. We appreciate any comments below. Please let me know what I did wrong in that Digitize match, or let me know, just tell me that Greg's decks were better so I could feel a little bit better about myself. No, anything you want to talk, just throw it down in the comments. We love it. If you have recommendations for future episodes, cards you want to hear about, strategies you want to hear about, just let us know. We love to do content based off of what you guys want to see. So I think that's it for today. Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Bye.
Thanks for attending this lesson of the Forgeborn Finishing School. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment, or consider donating to our Patreon account. We look forward to our next lesson.